The PlayStation 4 has been a haven for great RPGs, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 10 great RPGs that you can play right now on the PS4. From traditional RPGs to action RPGs, Western to Japanese, it's all available on the PS4. Without further ado, let's get right into this. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The Witcher 3 is often considered the perfect single-player experience. It really nails every element of an open-world RPG. The gigantic, vibrant, and varied open world, a great cast of characters, an amazing story, varied gameplay, and so much content. Sure, you can make the minor complaints about certain things, but this is as great of an RPG as you're gonna find. Throw in the DLC content and the experience just gets bigger and better.
Come on. Damn.
Persona 5. As far as Japanese RPGs go, it may not get much better than Persona 5. Persona has always been a franchise that those that have played them have absolutely adored. However, it never really received the attention it deserved. That seemingly changed with Persona 5, which is not only the best entry in the series, but you can make a legitimate argument for it being the best JRPG of all time. The story, gameplay, design, it was all so well done. For fans of JRPGs, Persona 5 is an absolute must-play.
What's the answer?
Come to me!
What the hell? Come get some!
We can do this if we all work together! I'd rather that than be bad at every subject!
It's not just Japan anymore. The whole world's waiting to see the Phantom Thieves' next move.
Bloodborne. Over the last decade, From Software has become one of the most popular game studios in the world. Their work on the Souls games has really taken them to the next level, and Bloodborne was a great game utilizing the Souls formula. It's got a great dark medieval setting, the gameplay is of course challenging but never really frustrating, and Bloodborne excels at creating an extremely absorbing atmosphere. Whether you've been a fan of the Souls games or not, Bloodborne is a worthwhile experience you should check out. NieR Automata. NieR was one of the criminally underrated games on last generation platforms. Sure, the game definitely had its shortcomings, but it told an excellent story and had an amazing soundtrack. NieR Automata is the follow-up, and it was developed by Platinum Games, so the main issue of NieR's lackluster gameplay was completely remedied. It features that high-octane, fast-paced Platinum gameplay that you know and love. And best of all, it still retained the amazing storytelling as well as the great soundtrack. NieR Automata is a fantastic action RPG worth your time. Horizon Zero Dawn. Guerrilla Games has been one of the top studios for amazing PlayStation games for a very long time. However, in the past, they were known for the sci-fi first-person shooter series Killzone. They decided to step away from that and release Horizon Zero Dawn, an open-world action RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world dominated by mech-like creatures. It's a very interesting game, and sure, it's not perfect in every way. However, Guerrilla has set a phenomenal foundation for future entries. The story was captivating, and of course, technically, it's absolutely jaw-dropping. Guerrilla Games has been known for great games, and Horizon is just another one.
And obviously she's got a wide variety of bows, and these bows have different ammo types, like explosives, or you can set them on fire, or you can stun them with electricity. If you focus scan an enemy, you can see what kind of weaknesses they have. Then you can mix and match that with the weapons and the different traps that you can set as well.
The amount of options right now has substantially increased compared to Killzone, but it's still kind of standing on the shoulders of everything we've learned in the Killzone series.
Nioh. The Souls-like formula has obviously been replicated in other games, and one that does it phenomenally is Nioh, and while it does have that Souls style to it, it's definitely got its own elements too. The setting is one of the stronger elements of Nioh, taking place in the early 1600s during a fictionalized version of the Sengoku period when Japan was in the midst of a civil war. Playing as a samurai is also a breath of fresh air, since quality samurai games are pretty hard to come by these days. Think of Nioh like a little bit of Dark Souls with an Onimusha skin to it, and if that sounds awesome, well, that's because it is. Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 was one of the most anticipated games for the last decade. Originally announced back in 2006, after a long road, the game was finally released in 2016, and it's a great game with its obvious flaws. The main flaw was the storytelling. It was disjointed and just a mess. However, if you take the game for just an open-world RPG adventure, there is so much to like. Technically, the game is on another level, gameplay is fast, fluid, and very satisfying, and the world is so much fun to explore. Final Fantasy 15 is a great game. Its story isn't great, but the good outweighs the bad.
Noctis's unique warp ability, you can quickly get into the action with a long-range attack or deftly dodge incoming attacks. You can also warp out to safety to assess the battlefield or to regain precious health. For those who would prefer to slow things down while in the heat of battle, there's wait mode. While in wait mode, the player can freely target enemies, aim magic spells, select teammate abilities, and more.
What are you after this time?
Throughout your travels, you will also find and be able to purchase powerful weapons and accessories for Noctis and the gang.
Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil Edition. Diablo has been one of the PC's most popular franchises forever now, so seeing it finally come to the PlayStation 4 was very nice, and best of all, it made a very smooth transition over to the console controls. The Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil Edition also includes the expansion, so you are getting a lot of content for your money. The game is best played with a few friends, but you can definitely have fun by yourself as well, and if you want to get the most out of the game, you are going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of hours in Diablo 3. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. Valkyria Chronicles was one of the best games on the PlayStation 3, however, it performed incredibly poorly from a commercial standpoint. Luckily, Sega brought the game back and gave it a second chance on the PS4 with Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. It was released at a budget price point and it had all your typical remaster refinements, 1080p, 60 FPS, it looked and ran really well, and the game was as great as ever. For those of you that like tactical RPGs, you need to check out Valkyria Chronicles.
Entering combat.
And finally, Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition was really the first great RPG released on the PlayStation 4, and 3 years later, it may not be as great as some of the other games on this list. However, it is still very good with a great story, the world is great with so much detail, and the combat was well done too. The game also has a ridiculous amount of content, and there's a reason why so many considered it to be the best game of 2014. Dragon Age Inquisition was amazing on release, it's still a very good game, just less so than some of the other games on this list. So that wraps up 10 amazing PS4 RPGs that you can play right now. What do you think? What are your favorite PS4 RPGs? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.